Simagic released today the Neo X universal steering wheel hub, which intend to cover different experiences for very reasonable price, swapping rims, but be careful, overexcitement can lead to disaster. I'm kidding, of course, but the necessary disclaimer first: Simagic sent those products for test and review under the same conditions as many other products we have checked in this channel, and that is sharing my experience in video with you. And that being said, starting with the price, €179 or $199 looks like very appealing price, particularly in the current sim market, but here is what we get exactly for the money. As the name suggests, this is just a hub with 4 backlight buttons, 4 rotaries, 2 7-way switches, 9 RPM lights, and my favorite quick release system. If we take in count that the QR, which cost on itself $60+ or euro 120 for the hub itself, sounds like a deal for sure. However, the minimum we're gonna need to use this will be steering wheel, and that's the case if we are in the Simagic ecosystem, but don't worry if you are not, because with some upgrades this can be used on itself with every other brand and become SimHub compatible for tons of effects we all love. I know I've said before we have 9 LEDs and 4 backlight buttons, but through SimHub we're gonna have control over 41 individually controlled LED lights for tons of effects. But let's first check what we're gonna get if we pay a little extra. First, to take the maximum from the Neo, we need the Neo itself, and then at least a single clutch system. This one is the dual, and the mag-link, which is important for SimHub use. Here is the mag-link kit, which includes the adapter, the magnetic connection, which is quite secure, and then USB extension and all the necessary bolts. Now, the shifter kit. Let's see what's inside. The pedal kit, man, that's quite cute. Then we have the tools and bolts and the pedal shifters. Great. And lastly, the Neo itself. That's some cool packaging. And that comes with the quick release. Okay, here we're gonna bolt the steering wheel, and that's going on the top of the steering wheel. We have here USB-C connection. Whoa, that gets instantly connected to the sim. That's quite cool. That's awesome. That comes ready for the Simagic ecosystem, but we have to put the mag link because we want to use SimHub. Let's do the work. Make sure to take your time with the connection because it was quite tight, and if you destroy the PCB, that can be a problem. That's the mag link we're gonna use, which have 5 and 700mm pattern. Next step is to connect the mag link to the PCB. So make sure to put it in the right direction, and the next step will be to test if it works. Okay, it looks like it's connected and is instantly connected to the game. Good. Now we have access to the sim hub and can just attach one wheel and jump in the game, but we're gonna need shifter. And if we don't have shifters, we need to put those here. Let's take the plastic covers. Now where it says which is left and which is right, and one way to find that is just make sure the clutch to be on the bottom where those rotaries are. That was easy. That process is not difficult at all, and maybe even fun, because we can enjoy our own gear, putting everything together. Now the shifters are secure and they feel good. That is flat rim, and now we have to see how far the shifters and the clutch are, so we can decide from which side we're gonna bolt the pedals. Let's bolt the wheel. There we go. Now what left is to add the pedals. We'll choose and see which one feels better. This is one wheel I'm gonna use, which is the cut shape for GT3 style cars, and then I have this D-shape, both 300mm, but I also gonna test it with 330mm wheel to see can we adjust the pedals comfortably. I really like what they have done with that kit, and honestly for $55 this is amazing price. We have different pedals for the shifter and the clutch, which are carbon, plastic and aluminum with grip. We have also extension, which we can bolt from outside or inside depending on the different wheels. So we can use this to extend, and then we have some spacers. I guess those are 3mm and 5mm spacers with the different bolts. And together with this, if we bolt it inside or outside, we can probably bring the shifter closer to around 8mm or even 1cm, which is absolutely perfect. It took me like 20 minutes to put everything together, and the shifter choices are the aluminum one with the grip for the shifters and the carbon one for the clutches, and those feels absolutely awesome. Honestly, for $55 with all the options, this thing is absolutely amazing. Let's put the stickers now. That full kit cost €29 for the USB mag link and about $55 for the dual pedal shifter or $40 for the single one, which brings the total cost up to $260. Of course, depending on the steering wheel choice, the full kit ready to jump on track will exceed $300, that's for sure, but considering the current market and the quality of that build, sounds like absolute deal. The buttons and rotaries feels great, the base of the hub is metal structure covered with carbon reinforced polyester, and will take the abuse from any wheelbase, and those shifters being quieter than the buttons itself will keep our homemates happy. Changing rims is 2 minutes work if you want to, and the sim hub compatibility is the cherry on the top. For those who don't want brand logos sticking in their face, just take off the cap, put your own logo and have fun. The sim community desperately need more of those reasonable products in terms of prices, and I'm happy to see Simagic did it. The Only downside I can see for some people is the work we have to put changing the muggling and adding the shifters, but if you are like me, enjoying this process can be even satisfying experience. I think the Neo X will become one of the most successful products in their line after the haptic motors. Let's have some fun.